So you're a software engineer and you just got your first job interview. Congratulations. In this video, we're going to go over whether or not that job's going to be a great fit for you or if you should keep looking. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so typically the hiring process goes in 3 steps. First, it's a recruiter call, then it's a cultural interview, and then it's a technical interview. All right, so let's start off with the recruiter call. The recruiter is going to want to know more about your resume. They're going to want to know about the skills on your resume. They're going to want to know about the past positions or projects on your resume, and they're going to want to know a little bit more about you and if you fit the role. In this interview, it's okay to ask about salary ranges. It's okay to ask more about the team and what they're like. It's more geared toward the company as a whole. You want to ask them what the company is really like and if it's going to be the right fit for you. If you think you like what the company has to offer, I say keep going in the job process. But you want to ask those questions because they're going to be able to tell you whether or not those things meet your expectations. And I get it. Everybody has a salary range that they want to meet. If they can't meet your salary range or it's too little of a number, let's say $40,000 for a software engineer, that's a red flag. Software engineers should be making anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000 starting out. So I would say look for that number, and if it's anything lower than that, I wouldn't say don't take it, but just know there's options out there that can provide that number for you. Another thing is, if the company doesn't do necessarily what you're interested in, you could have a hard time contributing to that product because it's not going to motivate you day in and day out to really take up that product. Now, I'm not saying that companies can't make that up in different sections of their company. That's definitely not true. And again, this might be a different outlook for you. Maybe you're trying to gain some experience and that company really has that experience for you. This could be a great place to learn. So just because it's not the right fit or it's not the right type of product for you doesn't mean it can't work. It just means that you may need to be a little bit more motivated to start your career in that place. So just be careful with that and be mindful of that. All right, next up is the cultural interview. The cultural interview is typically with the team that you'll be working with. This is maybe led by a senior and a lead engineer. This is going to be a place where you can ask questions about how the team really works, what kind of environment, whether or not it's an agile or waterfall environment, and if you're really going to thrive in that environment. You can ask questions here about product management, how they go about ticket writing, how they go about managing their team. You can also ask questions as far as like if you're a junior engineer and you're looking to have some mentorship. This is a great place to ask for that. For instance, a question that you can ask here is, hey, I'm a junior engineer. I really thrive in an environment where I still have a mentor or a lead that can kind of help me out here and there. This is a perfect place to ask that and to be honest about that, because these are people that you're going to be working with for 8+ hours a day. That's really important. They want to make sure that they can get along with you as well as you can get along with them. This is a place where a lot of, let's say, like processes kind of take place. This is where you're really going to learn about the team culture. Those are all big things in your day-to-day satisfaction and success as a software engineer on that team. So just be mindful of that. If you can get along with that team and those 2 people that are typically interviewing you, it's probably going to be a good fit. If you don't get along with them, if you're having a hard time following them, it might be a little bit more difficult and you may have to keep looking for your next role. All right, so next up is the technical interview. Let's get into it. This one is a little bit different. This one is all about coding, but there are some subtleties that you have to be mindful of when it comes to communication. For instance, when you're coding along, you have to be talking with your senior or whoever is interviewing you in the technical interview. If that person is not communicating with you back, that could be a red flag. You have to be mindful that they're actually giving you information that you need to be successful. That is a big thing. Ask questions and make sure they're asking you questions back and helping you as well. If you can carry a conversation with this person, that's great. That's 100% what you want. You want to be able to have conversations with the people that are interviewing you in the technical interview. If they're not giving you any feedback, imagine working with that person on a day-to-day basis. It's difficult. It's difficult because you might run into a problem and you might not get the answers that you need from the interviewer, and especially if they're your senior on the job. That's a red flag. You need to be careful with that. Another thing is, if, let's say you get something right, but then, for some reason your code doesn't work out. If they're not asking you questions to move you along the process, that also might not help you in the long run. Like if they're not giving you any hints or anything like that, that could be a red flag because they're not going to be willing to work with you in the actual job place. So that's kind of tough. Be careful with that. Alrighty guys, that's it. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week.